The journey towards the actualization of the political dreams of Senator Victor Umeh in the 2015 Anambra Central Senatorial election was marred with incessant litigations by the opposition party. This inadvertently hindered the People's Senator from assuming office despite various court rulings in his favor. Senator Victor Umeh was sworn into office in January 2018, having less than 1 year to complete his senatorial obligations to Nigerians and his constituency. This appeared to be an uphill task, as this has never been done in the history of Nigeria. But then, Ohamadike believes that the might of a warrior can only be tested in battle, and if he spends only 1 hour in the red chambers, he must make a difference. The following are the achievements of Senator Victor Umeh in less than 10 months in office. Raising motion to protect the core interests of the Southeast region, citing the Federal Railway project and other crucial projects in the country.
China. Ega vive chubalo njeri dolisa. Mana we ebe ugbo ọgbatumtum asi aga na n'Igbo. Etiri ya n'oge ahụ ọkpọtụ kamaga. Ije na akwụkwọ eji achị Nigeria, akwụkwọ iwu eji achị Nigeria. Ewepụtara ndị ga-anọ n'ọgbakọ ndị ga na-afụ maka nchekwa obodo anyị bụ Nigeria. Mana nne anya etinye university ebe na-akpọ ya bụ n'ụlọ oyibo National Defense Council. Onweghị onye si ebe ọwụwa anyanwụ nọ n'ime ya. Mana ndị na-ebe ahụ dị mmadụ ịsaa. Onwe ka esi gbakọ na-akpa nkata etu ekizi echekwa ndụ na akụ na ụba ndị Nigeria.
I represent Anambra Central Senatorial District. Distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, I want to draw the attention of the committee report on paragraph 4 of this report. Meanwhile, I've looked at the CVs of the 4 nominees, and I want to say that they have very rich background and experience and education to work in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. But I find paragraph 4 in page 6 of this report very worrisome. The committee noted that 3 out of the 4 nominees from the North Central were from the North Central, Northeast, Northwest, and Southwest geopolitical zones. 1 nominee is from the Southwest, that is Mr. Deleke Adebayo Rafiu. Mr. President, the committee noted that this composition of this commission is not in accord with the provision of section 14(3) of the Constitution, which deals on federal character. Mr. President, we know that the chairman of this commission, or the acting chairman of this commission, is from the Northeast. So there are now 4 from the North, if you go by the committee report. And just 2 weeks ago, this Senate confirmed the nomination of the secretary to the commission. That secretary to the commission is from the Southwest. And in the membership in this commission, we have Adeleke again from the Southwest. The Southeast and the South-South are obviously not accommodated in the commission. Mr. President, we have continued to say this, that if there is need to accommodate all parts of Nigeria in activities of government, particularly in appointing people to agencies of government, that has been the practice in this chamber. And on this issue of fight against corruption, Mr. President, this commission is a very important commission, because the fight against corruption involves all parts of Nigeria. people are investigated from all parts of Nigeria. It will not be nice if we begin to constitute a commission that will fight corruption to the satisfaction of all Nigerians, and some parts of Nigeria are not represented in the commission. If you look at this composition, Mr. President, without saying the obvious, some people may think that the war against corruption is instituted for them. Only them will be the people that will be dealt with. Because in an agency like this, the absence of a representative from the South-South and the Southeast can show you clearly that if you are the one to be investigated, you will come into the commission, you won't even see somebody to tell you good morning before they take your briefcase from you. So I think it is important that in doing this, particularly the committee observed it, that there is need to take people from the other geopolitical zones into the commission. I know there may be constraints as to number, but if we have a chairman from the Northeast, we go again to have a member from the Northeast. We have a secretary from the Southwest. We go and take a member from the Southwest. Mr. President, this thing is not good. I want us to bear this in mind, that in dealing with important issues like this, corruption is the serious challenge Nigeria is facing. And people who will fight corruption in this country will be drawn from all the parts of the country. So that if they're investigating somebody from the Northeast, for example, there is a chairman from the Northeast from that commission, there is a member from the Northeast. Somebody from the South-South should be able to ask important questions about the suspect. Somebody from the Southeast should ask important questions about the suspect, vice versa. If you have somebody from the Southeast that's being investigated, somebody from the Northeast who is the chairman should make sure that that person is properly investigated. So I want to say that this composition, not being in accord with the federal character principle, the Senate should not go and approve nominations from chairman from Northeast, a member from Northeast, secretary to the commission from Southwest, a member from the Southwest, and 2 geopolitical zones should be left out. This corruption should be fought with every force available. There should be no sacred cow, and there should be no preferential treatment. This is my observation to this report. And I believe that it is not late, since the committee screened these people in 2017. In 2017, there's nothing wrong with the Senate returning this nomination to the President. After all, we have amended the Electoral Act several times, and the President returned them. This one is not good. Let us return this report to the President with these observations. Good enough, all things returned to us were made with observations. The Senate should be bold enough to return these nominations to the President with observations that Lawan Maman is from Northeast and the acting chairman of the commission is from Northeast. And another observation that Mr. Deleke Adebayo, a member nominated, is from the Southwest, and that we have approved a secretary to the commission from Southwest. We will further observe that the South-South and the Southeast have nobody in this commission. This war against corruption is against everybody that is corrupt. There should be no preferential treatment in the management and running of EFCC. I so submit with utmost respect to my distinguished colleagues in this chamber. Let us not proceed as if we see good people who say yes. Human beings have the tendencies of preferential treatment to their brothers, and will not allow that in EFCC. So I would like these nominations to be stripped down and returned with these observations, so that the President will draw members from South-South and Southeast.
Supporting a motion for the dredging of the river Niger to prevent flooding in the southeastern region.
About 5 local government areas in Anambra State are very badly affected. And the Vice President had cause to come to Anambra State to go through these local governments with the governor of Anambra State. Mr. President, yes, flooding is a natural disaster, and we are concentrating our energy so much on what to do to improve the lots of those who were displaced, and so on and so forth. But some of our colleagues had touched the main reason for this flooding, but I want to put it more succinctly, Mr. President. Most of our rivers and waterways have become so shallow. Sand has filled most of our waterways, River Niger, River Benue. Most of our water carriers are now very shallow. So with any heavy downpour, they overflow their banks and get into the villages and surrounding communities on the waterway. So I think while we are talking about what to do to help people who have been displaced, because in Anambra State today we have more internally displaced persons camps than we have in the Northeast as a result of this phenomenon. I suggest that we pay more attention on how to remove sand in the bowels of our rivers so that our rivers can carry more water. Our rivers can no longer carry flood water. Once rain falls, they are easily overflooded. They overflow their banks and enter the surrounding communities and cause this havoc. We should find a way of providing money to dredge our waterways. Dredging will help this country a lot. The River Niger had almost dried up at some time, and those sand dunes in the rivers are still there. Once rain falls, they can't carry any more water. Water immediately runs into the surrounding communities. So dredging is something we must take very seriously to combat this challenge. There's no way we can stop rain from falling. It's a natural thing, but we can prepare to contain the damage heavy downpour can cause on our environment. And the major solution to this, Mr. President, is that we'll start dredging our waterways in the dry season. We don't need to wait during rainfall. When the rivers begin to overflow their banks, we'll start running around and start carrying blankets and mattresses to give to people. If we spend time and plan and dredge our waterways during the dry season, by the time we get to rainy season, the rivers will have enough space to carry water that will come into them. If we don't do that, it will become constant. So dredging should be a constant part of our management of this problem, so that we'll be able to keep more water out of the places they go to. The rivers will now have bigger bowels to swallow this water and channel them to the sea. If we don't do that, even if we buy rice, mattress, soap, mosquito net, when these things happen, we begin to donate mosquito net and things like that. So let's spend money. Let the Senate and the National Assembly approve money for the dredging of our waterways, River Benue, River Niger, all the way. And if we do that every year, you can be certain that when the rains fall, the waterways can take more water and then channel them to the sea.
Sponsoring a motion for the funding and development of indigenous armaments by the federal government of Nigeria.
Mr. President, Senator Ben Bruce has said so much, and I want to add my voice that without research, we will not be able to make any progress in this country. And in the area of defense, there is a saying that necessity is the mother of all inventions. The references made by Senator Bruce is one that is very touching and very important for us to reflect on. If we were able, as a result of the Civil War, we were able to develop so many things to fight that war for a reasonable time, it is a tragic mistake for the government of Nigeria to have allowed the scientists and the great ingenious people that developed these weapons of warfare with which the defunct Biafra survived for some time. Because if they had invested in the development of those inventions, Nigeria would have been exporting war missiles, warheads by now. But those who were able to go through those things to develop those bombs, Ojuku, bunker, all kinds of things, they've been left to die. And we are still spending so much money to buy these things from outside. Nigeria can invest money to develop its armaments with which to defend this country. The insurgents are terrorizing the country, and the only reliance the country has is to go and buy maybe Tucano aircraft and things developed by other countries, So we need to invest in this type of research and development so that Nigeria can be competent and capable to defend and protect itself. So I support this bill by Senator Kyari so that over time, Nigeria will become world power like others. We can be if we take it seriously. Thank you very much.
Moving a motion to hold the pipeline surveillance agencies accountable for the oil spills which led to the loss of human lives in the Niger Delta region.
That the leaks were reported to the relevant agencies and they ignored to take action. They refused to take action, timely action. If NOSDRA and its agents and DPR had gone in to rectify this leak, it wouldn't have led to loss of human lives, totaling 150. It is regrettable that after this report was made, nothing was done. And of course, from the report and the motion, the policemen that were in this location started trading on the opportunity. People started going to scoop petrol from the pipeline, from this leak. They were going there with buckets and jerry cans to tap from the pipeline, and the business was flowing, it was booming. If you tip police officials with some money, they allow you go to the pipeline and scoop petrol. And eventually, due to negligence and dereliction of duty, this thing caught fire and killed a lot of people. I support the prayers that the agencies charged with pipeline surveillance and detection of oil spill, oil leaks that failed to do their job should be invited. The officials of these agencies should be invited. We've continued to play with human lives in this country. It's not good. Just yesterday, you saw what we went through in this chamber. Everybody bowed in grief when somebody who was in captive was held and the deadline expired. Government did nothing and the person was executed. This one again is oil spill, oil leak. The agency's charged with responsibility of ensuring that an immediate leak is reported, decided not to do anything. And fire came as a result of this negligence and killed 150 people. So they should be summoned. We should not continue to play with human lives in this country. People continue to die. People draw their salaries. They do all kinds of things without doing their work. So I support this motion that the agencies should be invited, and for NEMA to, of course, NEMA cannot restore life. I've always continued to worry about
when things that could be prevented are not prevented, when the catastrophe lands on us, we'll start calling on NEMA to go and send relief materials. You cannot recover lives that have been lost. There's nothing NEMA can do to recover the lives of 150 people. So these people should be called and queried and given the marching orders for them to take their jobs very seriously.
Senator Victor Umeh does not lend his voice only to support the Igbos, but also to support the entire Nigerian masses.
Senator Ashafa brought this motion using ATM transactions to illustrate what is going on in the banking sector. But this is just a small tip of the iceberg, this type of charge he complained about. Most times, when we see debit charges on our accounts, people just gloss over them because they may be 52 naira, 100 naira, 150 naira. But like Senator Boacha said, when you aggregate all the customers a bank has and apply these charges, it runs into hundreds of millions of naira. It's not just that. Mr. President, the banks have been exploiting their customers to the extent that even the Consumer Protection Council has not done anything. How much more the Central Bank of Nigeria? We don't have protection of consumers in this country. We have the councils that will do this work, but it's unfortunate to say that they are aware of what is going on, but what happens is that people are settled, and this money they make, they share it with people who are supposed to protect the Nigerian customers and citizens. It's very unfortunate. There's a case of Innocent Nigeria Limited and GTB, which is very well celebrated in the media, where a customer, because if we talk about these things, we think they are small things. If you get to the experience of big customers, people who are doing big businesses with the banks, you see what they go through. Innocent had cause to come to this Senate with a complaint. And in his own case, after reconciliation, overcharges were accepted to be 560 million overcharges on the account of the company. And they've been running from one pillar to post up to today. Many people suffered the same fate. So I think the Central Bank of Nigeria should know that the Nigerian people need to be protected. If you get your account details every month, you see frivolous charges. One, notification charges. When you withdraw money, you have a debit alert. At the end of the month, the bank charges you for notifying you of your withdrawals. What is then the cost of doing business on the part of the bank? What do they give to the customers in return? Anything you do, you use their lounges, executive lounge. At the end of the month, you are charged 15,000 for using the executive lounge of the bank to come and do business in the bank. Some of these charges ought to be dispensed with. And the Central Bank of Nigeria ought to be told the hard facts. They are the regulatory authority in the banking sector. But they have bank examination departments, well staffed. And these people, they are supposed to do routine examination of operations of banks. Banks have internal auditors, and these bank examination officials from the CBN, they go to these banks and their branches, stay there sometimes 2 weeks, and then sign their papers that nothing is going wrong and go away. They collect money. People continue to suffer. So I think this motion brought by Senator Ashafa is a very great one. And after discussing it, like everybody has shown interest in this motion, we will need to see concrete action taken. The CBN should be able to revoke the licenses of banks that violate banking regulations. There's no point when you do it, they go and catch them. And before you know it, they are settled. They go back. And the fraud will continue going cyclically without any check. Outside the shores of this country, people don't pay interest on a lot of things anymore. Banks beg you to come and take loan. Interest rates may be 4%, 3%, 2.5%. Here, the cost of borrowing in Nigeria kills businesses. And yet, like what I said, profit that are declared every quarter. There was one I saw on the television one day. A bank I thought that was struggling. First quarter profit, 13 billion. First quarter. Banks don't used to make this type of numbers in the past. And you see that it is the customers that bear this brunt. All this through these charges that we get to pay. Anything you do, you pay the bank. Anything you do, you pay the bank. Yet, they will tell you zero COT. Before you check your account, you see that it's better you pay COT because they come from the side with all kinds of charges and they take unimaginable sums of money from your account. So there should be strict enforcement of the regulations by the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Due to Ohamadike's active role in the Senate, he was awarded the best senator in overall motions. In just 10 months, Senator Victor Umeh has garnered 40 constituency projects across Anambra Central Senatorial Districts, namely construction and furnishing of primary healthcare center at Aguluzibo, Anocha local government area, construction of primary health center, Oba, in Idemili South, construction of skill acquisition center with perimeter fence, Adaziani, Anocha local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank and reticulation in Obeledu, Anocha local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank at Urum, Oka North local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank, Isuaniocha, Oka North local government area, construction of box culvert for flood control at Hospital Road, Mbasako, Enugu Agidi, Njikoka local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank and reticulation at Umpo, Idemili North local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank and reticulation at Umuoji, Idemili North local government area, construction of pavilion at Umuona, Nnobi, Idemili South local government area, construction of a 4-classroom block, principal's office and laboratory at Agolo Oka Community Secondary School in Oka, Oka South, construction of a 4-classroom block, office and toilets at Nebo, Oka South local government area, construction of a 4-classroom block, office and toilet at Ogulibe, Ebenebe, Oka North local government area, construction of a classroom block with office and toilets at Abagana, Njikoka local government area, perimeter fencing and re-roofing of school refectory in Community Secondary School Umunnachi, Dunukofia local government area, library complex beside Okulo Civic Center, Amago Village, Okulo in Dunukofia, fencing, renovation of 2 laboratory blocks at Community Secondary School Nimo in Nimo, Njikoka local government area, renovation of Adazi Nnuku Town Hall, Adazi Nnuku, Anocha local government area, construction of pavilion at Akweze Community Cultural Center, Akweze, Anocha local government area, drainage and flood control along Ale Ozizamba Road, Udezu Village in Achala, Oka North local government area, perimeter fencing of Ifiteduno Community Hospital in Ifiteduno, Dunukofia local government area, renovation of classroom blocks at Ide Secondary School, Enuguku in Njikoka local government area, construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank and reticulation at Ufa Village Hall, Aguluzibo in Anocha local government area, construction of office block at Agolo Cultural Center, Agolo in Anocha local government area, construction of nurses' quarters at Primary Health Care Center, Neni, in Anocha local government area, construction of borehole with overhead tanks plus 20 kVA transformer at Ogidi in Idemili North local government area, generator and reticulation at Ilo Iwaga Village, Nkwele Village, construction of student hostel at Community Secondary School, Ichida, in Anocha local government area, renovation of primary health center, Oraoku, in Idemili North local government area. Construction of solar-powered borehole with overhead tank at Abade Square, Akampisi, in Inri, Anocha local government area. Construction and furnishing of 4 classroom block at Igwedimma Primary School, Amobia, in Oka South local government area. Construction and furnishing of 4 classroom block at Girls Secondary School, Oketiti, in Idemili South local government area. Construction of 4 classroom block at St. Mary's Primary School, Opo, in Dunukofia local government area. Empowerment of youths with 14 motorcycles in Anambra Central towns and communities in Anambra Central senatorial districts. Re-roofing and renovation of Ifite Civic Center, Aguluzibo, in Anocha local government area. Empowerment of women with small credits to support their businesses in Oka North local government area in Anambra Central senatorial district. Empowerment of women with small credits to support their businesses in Oka South local government area in Anambra Central senatorial district. Empowerment of women with small credits to support their businesses in Anocha local government area in Anambra Central senatorial district. The construction of pavilion at Adazienu Town Hall, Adazienu, in Anocha local government area. Construction of solar-powered borehole overhead tank and reticulation in Umudioka, in Dunukofia local government area. Senator Victor Umeh is a hardcore philanthropist who over 11 years have awarded scholarships to 600 students from primary school to university.
For a year and now, he took up my scholarship, PhD, funded it in full. All thanks be to God. My parents would have been here today.
On the 25th day of September 2018, Ohamadike Ndigbo doled out the sum of 12 million naira to Anambra State students. On the 18th day of December 2018, he also gave out a check of 100,000 naira to 70 indigent students as a form of scholarship award. The People's Senator has also empowered 151 youths through his skill acquisition training programs. Senator Victor Umeh, believing in giving power to the youths, has donated 31 tricycles to empower Anambra Central senatorial youths. Ohamadike is a man of peace who respects the rule of law and the sanctity of every human life.
We should observe 1 minute silence for the 150 people that lost their lives. It's not a small number. Let the Senate rise and observe 1 minute silence for the repose of their souls. If it's the only thing we'll continue to do when people die, let's observe this 1 minute silence for these 150 people.
No doubt, Senator Victor Umeh is a rare gem, an icon who deserves accolades for these tremendous achievements in just 10 months in office. Imagine the great things he could have achieved in 4 years. Umunnem, can you kwadaka tunyere Senator Victor Umeh na 2019 Anambra Central Senatorial Election? Bia binyaka ebe sere okuko, maka ọganihu ụmụ Igbo. Apka.
Onye ga-ejere anyị Senate Sir Victor Umeh ya ga-eje.
Ahamadike ga-ejere anyị.
Onye ga-ejere anyị Senate Sir Victor Umeh ya ga-eje.
Ahamadike ga-ejere anyị.